Hey guys, back at it in the garage here. So, you guys notice anything different here with the race car? Put a wrap on it a little bit there. Reason why was, for those of you that don't know, I actually a couple years ago made a mistake during a move. Race car was the last thing to move from one house to another, so fired her up and everything and forgot to do something important. Forgot to latch these guys on there. Well, those weren't on there before, they're on there now. So the original hood latch, wasn't fully latched up and whatnot. And sure enough, hit the windshield and took out the cowl and everything. So I went through the whole process of doing that. But I threw a wrap on there because I haven't had the time or money to replace the hood. There is a little bit of a damage that occurred during that incident, which basically spidered it up and made a hole. So I threw the wrap over just to give it a little bit more of a cosmetic fix. Sure, it's a shortcut, but when my money frees up a little bit here, I'll go ahead and purchase another one. But that's where she's at here. So race car here is actually set to jet, ready to go. Weather here in Arizona has been beautiful. It's been in the 70s, so I can't wait to get her back out before summer hits and we're in the hundreds with terrible, terrible density altitude. And for those of you that don't know that, that plays havoc on our times out here. I mean, running in desert elevation, even though it's supercharged, even though I throw colder charge at it with the meth injection, it'll still slow it down. And that's a topic that many people have had, but I could share with you guys if you guys are interested. But there it is. She's road tested to 15 or almost 20 miles. So I'd like to take a couple test hits on her, a couple pulls, the freeway there to make sure everything stands, holds up well after my latest install, because I hate to go to track and something happened to her. So knock on wood. I like doing a couple pulls. So you guys know that the last modification I made to her was that PTC converter. On a side note, during that I actually discovered something. Went through my red top battery. Actually, I had in the car for 5 years. Where is it? This guy here. I had that in there for 5 years and she lasted, but had some starting issues that I was just fighting with, and some of it I thought had to do with the injectors that I put in there, the 80-pound Siemens injectors in there, Siemens Dicas. But you know what? I went ahead and modified it and changed it up a little bit. Not the injectors, but the batteries itself. I went with a yellow top Optima battery, which is more marine, deep cycle, and you know what, motor turns over a lot easier and it fires quicker. So that may have been an issue from the get-go, just ensuring that she turned over quick to fire up, with all the extra accessories that I have in the car. And it's not like I'm running a big stereo or anything like that. Like the way it turned out. Not that I'm running a big stereo or anything like that, but I do have that aftermarket pump, electric fans, which create quite a draw. Got actually the electric fan that I put in there about a year ago, it helped cool the car down, and then I added that trans cooler and everything, and sure enough, when you try to fire the car and the car's heated up, it makes it that much harder with a little bit of heat soak. But there it is. There's the latest change to the car. So she's track ready. I'm hoping to tickle the nines this next time out. The best I've ever had in the car with the old converter was a 1040, and she was blowing through it. This guy here is actually stalling out at about 4,000, or flashing to about 4,000 RPM. So I'm gonna have to play around and see whether or not flashing the converter off the line or foot braking it will be better. So stay tuned.